Hello. We are now going to start Unit 2, the study of functions. This first video is going to deal with definition of what is a function. It's going to be a very general definition, and our homework actually should be quite simple today. All right, a function. A function is a rule that assigns for every value of x, that comes from the set called the domain. We'll talk more about this in the next video. Exactly one value of y, which comes from the set called the range. And again, we'll talk more about domain and range in the next video. The key is the function or rule, for every value you put into it, gives you exactly one value out. So I want you to think of a function as a rule. It's sort of like a box. So I'm going to draw a box around this. Let's draw a box. And our value of x is an input. It's an input. We input it in. It comes from the domain, and we get an output, which is y. We get an output, which is y. We get one and only one output. Our rule could be y equals x plus 2, and if I input x equals 2, or let's say x equals 3, if I input it, y is 5. All right? So when I say an input and an output, I'll draw it with a box. Y equals x plus 2. And we input the value of x equals 2. I wanted to use 3. If x equals 3, my output is y equals 5. All right? If I get more than one value of y for any given value of x, it's not a function. What we're going to be doing today is just looking at some graphs. So, I'm going to draw a couple of graphs. Okay, we have some graphs here. And now we're going to draw some sort of relation. Here, I've drawn a line. If I look at any point on this graph, any point, I see that I have, for any value of x, exactly one value of y. No matter where I look on this graph, I could look here. All right? For this value, I'll call it x2. I have exactly one value of y. I'll call it y2. All right? This is a function. No matter where I look, there's one and only one value of y for any given value of x. 1, 2, 3, 4. For instance, this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ordered pair is 6, 6. X is 6, y is 6. That's it. If x is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, y looks like it's 2.5, right? There's only one value. Now, I'm going to look at another function, or another relation, and I see that if x is 2, y could be 3, or 4, 5, 6, 7, y could be 7. This is the ordered pair 2, 7. This is the ordered pair 2, 3. So if I said, when x is 2, what is y? You'd say, I don't know. It could be 3 or it could be 7. I've got a couple of choices. This is not a function. Not a function. Because when x is 2, there's more than one option for y. Now, we have a very easy way to determine this. If I can draw a vertical line anywhere through my graph and hit 2 points, it's not a function. All right? No matter where it is, I draw it anywhere. Not a function. I hit my graph in 2 points. But I look over here, no matter where I draw my vertical line, whoops, I wanted a line, not a squiggle. No matter where I draw my vertical line, doesn't matter. Does not matter where that vertical line is drawn. I only hit 1 point. That makes it a function. If I hit 2 points, not a function. So let's look at another one. All right. And I drew them with arrows here, but it could be with a dot. Doesn't have to continue forever. And I could go and maybe it's an open circle. Open circle means there is no dot there. All right? So now I go to draw my vertical line. Oh, only hits 1 point. So now I'm going to draw, why is that doing that? All right, now I'm going to draw my vertical line here. I only hit 1 point. Try here. Only hit 1 point. Try here. Only hit 1 point. But I come here and draw my vertical line. I hit 3 points. I hit here. I hit here. I hit here. If there is any point that I hit more than 1 point, it's not a function. Not a function. All right, this is called a vertical line test. So vertical line test. If a vertical line can be drawn and intersects the graph in more than 1 point, then 1 point, it's not a function. All right, let's look at 2 more quick examples. All right, what if my graph look like this. And I might have an arrow here, closed circle there, and an open circle there. Is that a function? So when I go to draw my vertical lines, I only hit one spot. Do it over here. I only hit one spot. But if I come over here and draw it like this, do I hit more than one spot? Well, clearly, right here, that's a dot. That's a point on the graph. But because this is an open circle here, there is no point there. Therefore, I only hit one spot. It's a function. Likewise, if I drew my graph like this, and I went to draw my vertical line here, I would see that I hit this point right here, and I hit this point right here. Not a function. That's the only place that I hit it twice, but it's not a function. It is not a function. All right, your homework today will consist mostly of looking at some graphs and determining, is it a function, is it not a function? All right, not sure I mentioned it at the beginning, but there is another video that talks about x coordinates, y coordinates, how to graph x points, and some basic terminology. If any of the terminology I used in here about ordered pairs, the x coordinate and the y coordinate, like I did right there, or the x-axis and the y-axis, you should look at that video. It's purely optional, but you are responsible for that. It comes from Algebra 1 and pre-algebra. Most of you, I'm sure, know it and don't need to see it. All right, thanks for listening.